All right, so here we are. I don't think you can see much because we're outside, but I think you will be able to see a little bit as the session continues. So, this morning we're going to practice the intensity of inquiry, and by inquiry I mean self inquiry, questioning into the nature of our true self. And let's just begin with a minute of silence, centering ourselves, allowing ourselves to really arrive in this moment. And just breathe deeper and feel the feeling of being here right now. All right. So, the question we will investigate today is the question of who am I? And we'll do it in a variety of ways. And the attention will again and again shift from out there to in here. And our tendency does tend to be to focus more on outer experience, sensory experience, what is being seen, what is being heard. So, in this moment, to begin with, whatever you're experiencing, just notice whatever you're experiencing. If your eyes are open, you might be seeing something, including what little bit you can see on the screen. Might be hearing something, including perhaps this voice, any other sounds. Feeling something. And any other sense door, taste, smell, and of course, thoughts and perceptions. This is the current experience. So, a simple way of summarizing all of this would just be to fill in the blanks. I am experiencing dash. So, for example, I am experiencing the fresh, cool morning breeze against my skin. And then we shift the attention away from what we are experiencing to who is experiencing. So we ask the question, so who? Who is experiencing the fresh, cool morning breeze against the skin? And it's quite obvious, I am, I'm experiencing this. What am I experiencing? I'm experiencing a sound of some vehicle in the background. Who is experiencing a sound of a vehicle? I am. I am. It's me. Of course it's me. And then we ask this question, who am I? Who am I? and we firmly turn attention back to the source of experience instead of getting lost into the content of experience and taking the source for granted, we rarely question who is having this experience. And this is all we're going to be doing for the next 25 minutes. Again and again, I'm going to be keep on reminding each one of us to turn back attention like this. I don't know if we've ever done this in our life for 25 minutes. Our whole life, we've been focusing on the content of experience. Have we turned it back to the source consistently again and again for 25 minutes? Well, we're going to do it now. So the basic practice is, who am I? But whenever that gets kind of vague and you don't know where to look with who am I, then you expand it by coming back to something that's quite clear and discernible, something that's kind of unmissable. What is happening right now? And then you describe what's happening right now. At the level of sensory experience, at the level of inner experience, what is happening right now? So go ahead and each one of us will fill in the blanks. Dash is happening right now. Or I am experiencing dash right now. Who is experiencing this right now? I am. I am. This is really important to get clear about the sense of, it's me, of course it's me. Who is saying this right now? I am. But who am I? Who am I? And the main point is turning the attention back. It's not about finding an answer to that question, who am I? When we turn our attention outward, we don't have a question. We may be curious now and again, but it's like, it's obvious, it's here. This is manifestation. In the same way, turning back to source, it's not about finding some kind of conceptual answer. I am consciousness or I am a soul. That's not important. Who am I? It's about turning attention firmly inside, within. Even inside is another concept, but just to the source. Who am I? Who is having this experience? It's definitely a mystery. And not even that. And now abide. And inevitably, we get into some kind of, we slip back into experiencing or thinking. So for example, someone might say, this is kind of boring. Or this is really difficult. Or I don't know what to do with this. So what is happening right now? Resistance is coming up, or confusion is coming up. Or even you're enjoying this. This is beautiful. I love this. All right. So enjoyment is coming up. So what is happening right now? I'm experiencing joy, confusion, boredom. Who is experiencing this? I am. Who am I? Who am I? So for me, what this process is doing is consolidating that sense of self, that sense of I, that unquestioned sense of self and I. Consolidating it. And it's like, for me, the image comes of cabbage on a chopping board. You got to gather that cabbage together before you can cut it. The sense of I can be sneaky, can really spread itself quite thin. And you don't even realize it's there, but it's there. So this method of questioning reveals it rather clearly. What is happening right now? It's morning time. Slowly the sun is rising. Who is experiencing this? I am. I am. Who am I? So starting with gross experience, obvious experience, sensory experience, and moving to subtler experience, feelings, thoughts, impressions, the entire spectrum of experience, from very mundane and gross and unmissable to rather subtle, and something we don't always notice. And again questioning who is having this experience. I am. Who am I? And one doesn't want to say too much about what happens after who am I, because that becomes the next concept. But here are a few markers. If it feels a little more silent, if it feels a little more spacious, if there's a sense of stillness, unraveling, we're on the right track. And of course, everything I described is yet another experience. So who is experiencing the stillness? Who is experiencing that silence? Who is experiencing the unraveling? I am. Who am I? Intensity of inquiry, which means keep returning to the source of experience, turning attention back. Again and again and again. In the beginning, we have to use all these kinds of words, but of course, once that muscle gets stronger, even words are not required. Last night, I couldn't sleep much. Who is unable to sleep? I am. Who am I? One doesn't even have to ask those questions. The attention just turns backward. What we are looking for, what we are all looking for, is that which is looking. So here's the 3-step journey, which of course is another idea. From I'm doing and I'm having and I'm experiencing and I'm this and I'm that. All the descriptors to simply I am. Presence. And from I am to who am I? That's not even 3 steps, it's only 2 steps, isn't it? From I am this, I am that, I am experiencing this and that, I am good at this and that, I am terrible at this and that. From the story of our life, we shift to bare awareness, I am. Who thinks he is capable, she is capable, whatever? I do, I am. Who am I? From the content of experience to consciousness, and from consciousness to the source of consciousness, beyond consciousness, prior to consciousness, before consciousness. Slightly different approach to the same thing. Who is having this experience? I am. Where am I? Instead of asking who am I, we ask where am I? What does it mean, where am I? Where do you have the sense of I? Is it in your heart? Is it in your face? Is it behind your eyes? Is it behind the head? Is it in the belly? Where is it? In the shoulder? Where is the sense of I consolidated right now? Or all of these places, the whole body, all right? Well, if you know it to be in the heart, for example, or in the whole body, for example, then that's the new experience. So where is the I that's experiencing that? Oh, that's even behind that, or beyond that, or above that, to the left or the right of that. All right, and where is that? If that is the I, and the I is experienced, then who experiences that? Where is the I? This is called hunting the I. And don't worry, it won't drive you crazy. But it'll definitely open the gate to an infinite mystery that is right here, right now, covered over. From looking at your face in the mirror to recognizing that behind your face is another mirror. And now suddenly you have two mirrors facing each other. You have an infinity right here. So scratching the surface of this experience reveals an absolute infinity. And who is experiencing that infinity? I am. Who am I? Physical pain, or even physical comfort. What is happening right now? I'm experiencing pain. I'm experiencing comfort. Who is experiencing pain or comfort? I am. Who am I? Good health, bad health, same process. Who am I? So the journey is from experiencing to witnessing to being. From experiencing good health, good fortune, or bad health, so called bad fortune, misfortune, to simply witnessing. Who is having the experience? I am. That's witnessing. But who am I? And we even go beyond witnessing, just being, no separation. Life is experiencing. Life does not have a center, right? So when life experiences, there's a totality there. It's not a this experiencing that. It is an everything experiencing itself, and therefore a nothing experiencing nothing. Makes no sense. To whom does it make no sense? To me. Makes no sense to me. Who am I? Who is this me? But this is not practical. I've got a busy day. I've got a busy life. Can I really spend time listening to this funny recording? Funny session? I mean, I'm a busy person. I've got to prepare breakfast for my kids. Who's busy? I am. Who's responsible? I am. Who doesn't have time to waste? I. The story of I. Who am I? Step out of the matrix, even for a micro moment, and you will re-enter a totally different dimension, a totally different reality. Every time you turn away and turn back, it's a new reality. It's like my teacher Byron Katie says, every time you do the work, this work of inquiry, every time you do the work, you're left with less of a story. You're left with less of a story. Because you see, that's all there is, stories. There's a story of life, and there's life. Who am I without my stories? Who am I without all my stories? Let's dive intensely into that question. If no story is available to me, no story is available, and whatever remains is still a story. Who am I without that story? until nothing remains. But of course, even nothing is a story. Who am I without that story? Who am I? Where am I? What am I? What is the nature of this I? Hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight. Somebody asked Robert Adams, what is this consciousness you keep talking about? And he said, I could write a big book on consciousness and it would still be incomplete. So let me just say it in 3 words. Consciousness is everything. The moment anything is everything, it ceases to be a thing. The thing always implies separation from other things, isn't it? So everything, this thread of I is running through everything. This thread of I am is running through everything. And when we question that thread, then the entire necklace dissolves. The string of pearls collapses. Who am I? I am that. Forever undefinable, unapproachable, unbelievable, unknowable, unacceptable, ungraspable, unlimited. Unborn, undying. Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say that if you think you were born and you think you will die, you will continue to be born, you will continue to die. Which is why birthdays, celebrating birthdays, it's cute. It's the biggest delusion of all. We're celebrating our biggest delusion. I was born. I was born. Really? Who was born? I. Who am I? Was that really born? So let this flame of inquiry get ignited in our hearts and the heart of hearts. And let this, even without the questions, let this inward knowing, inward looking be not only available, may it be the foundation of everything else. All right. Lots of love. Be happy. Take care. All is well.